Welcome to the Carmelite Quotes Podcast, where we share Carmelite wisdom to encourage and inspire. St. Teresa of Avila, the foundress of the Discalced Carmelites, stands as a towering figure in the history of the Church. Her reform of the Carmelite order was not just a structural change, but a deep spiritual renewal born out of her intense love for God and her concern for the state of the Church. One of the most significant moments that gave Teresa the spiritual impetus to pursue her reform was a vision of hell that she experienced. This divine warning profoundly impacted her and fueled her determination to create a community devoted to prayer and penance. St. Teresa's reform was born out of a deep spiritual conviction and concern for the state of the Church in her time. The Church was under threat from without and within, with the Protestant Reformation causing widespread upheaval. Amid this turmoil, Teresa received a vision of hell that shook her to the core, revealing the reality of eternal damnation in a way that left a lasting impact on her soul. Stay with us, and we'll learn more about this vision and the action she took. In her autobiography, called The Book of Her Life, in chapter 32, St. Teresa vividly recounts this vision of hell. She describes how she was shown the place the demons had prepared for her, a vision so terrifying that it left her with a permanent fear of offending God. This vision, more than anything else, instilled in her a desire to live a life of greater perfection and to help others to do the same. With this newfound urgency, St. Teresa began the work of reform. Initially hesitant, Teresa struggled with the idea of embracing poverty and strict observance. However, with the guidance of St. Peter of Alcantara and God's own direction, she realized that these were the very pillars on which her reform should be built. Let's recall once again how the Protestant Reformation motivated St. Teresa. She learned about many souls that were being led astray, and this filled her with profound sorrow. In another book she wrote for her nuns, The Way of Perfection, at the very beginning of the book, St. Teresa expresses her deep sorrow, which was the driving impetus behind her reform. She writes, "I cried to the Lord and begged him that I might remedy so much evil. It seemed to me that I would have given 1,000 lives to save one soul out of the many that were being lost there. As a result, I resolved to do the little that was in my power, that is, to follow the evangelical counsels as perfectly as I could, and strive that these few persons who live here do the same." This passage from chapter 1 of The Way of Perfection encapsulates her desire to create a community dedicated to prayer, sacrifice, and the salvation of souls. Teresa's vision was not just for herself, but for a whole community of women who would support each other in living a life of perfection. The monastery of St. Joseph in Avila was the first fruit of St. Teresa's vision. Founded on August 24th, 1562, it was a humble beginning, but it marked the start of a powerful spiritual movement that would spread across the world. This monastery became the model for all Discalced Carmelite monasteries, embodying the principles of poverty, prayer, and strict observance that St. Teresa held so dear. I had the opportunity to visit St. Joseph's Monastery in Avila during a personal pilgrimage to Spain in 1991. The interior of the monastery is quite plain, but the chapel is filled with beautiful artwork. This is still a functioning community of Discalced Carmelite nuns who have taken great care to preserve their community life while permitting tourists to visit a public museum. All in all, it's a marvelous experience, and those who make a pilgrimage to Avila are destined to be changed forever. So as we reflect on St. Teresa's life and the foundation of the monastery of St. Joseph, we are reminded of the importance of spiritual commitment and the impact of contemplative prayer. Teresa's vision of hell, her motivation for reform, and the establishment of St. Joseph's Monastery all serve as powerful reminders that our spiritual lives require, as St. Teresa says, a very determined determination, as well as sacrifice and a deep love for God. Stay with us as we close. Thanks once again for tuning in to our episode. If you found this inspiring, please share this episode with your friends and followers on social media. And don't forget to listen and subscribe on the major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Audible, Amazon, iHeart, and even YouTube. We also want to extend a special thank you to Sean Beeson for the beautiful music you hear in our episodes. If you'd like to read the collected works of St. Teresa of Avila in the translation we use today, simply go to icspublications.org. Check out their catalog at ICS Publications, and you'll see links that take you to the various volumes of works by and about St. Teresa of Avila. So may we all be inspired by St. Teresa's determined determination to pursue a life of perfection in union with God. Until next time, blessings from Carmel.